for sticking around. Michael Allen, would you come up here?
Did they keep the reverb?
Just not when you talk.
Okay. Wow. Wow, this is cool. I've never been here. My first time at the Parlor Room. Thank you for having me, and thank you for staying around till the end. I'm going to be mostly Mr. Rogers, not a lot of profanity and stuff. So it's a fairly clean set, but I do want to do a trigger warning to start off, because I'm going to be playing the part of an uncircumcised comedian without a condom. So get ready for the comedy stylings of Michael Allen, raw and uncut. My name is Michael Allen. I tell you that because if I told you my name was Michael, too many of you would give me a nickname. It would be just the first syllable. That's what I'm hoping. That's not who I am. Okay, Michael Allen is not the same as Mike, because Mike is the first syllable, and too many people I know don't like to use just their first syllable as their name. My friend Astrid hates it. Don't even try it with her cousin Consuela. I said, I'm not going to use profanity. Doesn't mean you won't think it. The first words that were uttered in my presence after my birth were, "Wow, look at the Chinese monkey." I know this not because I remember it, but because that's family lore that's been repeated over and over, because my father didn't like hearing that. My mother had taken one look at my hairy body all covered in dark hair and my squinty eyes and said those words. And I guess I took offense to it, I wasn't clear what it meant, because I hold a grudge and I didn't talk to her for the next 3 years. Yes. Now they would call that on the spectrum. Then they just said, I guess he has nothing to say. They literally did say that. I said nothing. But remember, I get even. I hold a grudge. So I realized the other day yesterday, when I renewed my license for my birthday, that was yesterday, that I have had a driver's license for 43 years. That means I'm really old. But also, in all that time, I have never had a driving accident. I've never had an insurance claim of any kind, except for a little fender bender ding in the parking lot once. But I don't tell people before I had a driver's license, when I had a permit, I did flip a pickup truck, roll it, with my mother in the truck. Now, this was revenge, because remember, I hold a grudge. When I was younger, I was poor, and my family had all of us get our haircuts at home. My mother cut our hair, and I was hyperactive, they said. So I never sat still, and she cut part of my ear off. So I got even years later, and we didn't have a headliner in my Betsy, the pickup truck, so that's the part with the cushion and the fabric up top, just raw metal. So cut part of her ear off, so I do hold a grudge. So, as an old gay man, I'm conflicted about some things in society. Like, I grew up learning how to dress properly and how to put on my clothes, and when I see sagging, I just think it's ridiculous. And what's the opposite of ridiculous? It's ridiculous. So I digress. But sagging anyway, as a gay man, I see it differently. See, all right, before I told you my name is Michael Allen, and I don't like to be called shortened versions, but I'm going to make an exception because I want you to know I'm not unreasonable. If you don't have time to say all 2 syllables of Michael, you can just call me the shortened version and call me Okay? Now, when I see sagging, it makes me want to say my name. Sometimes, not all the time. But that's as a gay man, not as an old man. Oh my gosh, where was I? So I would like to let all of you know that for the past 10 years, I have not touched any kind of cocaine or heroin. It was really actually quite easy for me because I never touched it before that. I just like to tell people that. So I've had tons of jobs. I was and actually still am a minister. I'm a non-denominational minister, and I perform civil marriages. Thank goodness. Could you imagine if they weren't civil marriages? Yeah. I was a teacher for a while, and as a teacher, they had these drills with active shooters, really scary and traumatic. So afterwards, I would bring the kids back in the class and have them write an essay. What would you like to be if you grow up? If you grow up, yes. So, I was a realtor for a few years. And as a realtor, I was the nosiest realtor you ever knew. I've looked in every one of your drawers, in your medicine cabinets. I know all your secrets, I do. I've looked in them all. All the stereotypes are true, by the way, if you're curious. Every white woman's closet has a little black dress and a rape whistle. Every Puerto Rican woman's closet, I'm telling you, they all do. Chicletas and some leopard skin print leggings. I'm telling you, they all do. Every Republican man, panties. And a shoebox of half-naked boys and Polaroids. Don't shoot the messenger, that's just how they roll. So, the other day was my wedding anniversary. I've been married for 21 years. We've been together 28. I've only been allowed to be married 21 because he's black. So, times change. Before I was married, I had a lot of crazy exes. One so crazy that he actually wound up in a mental institution while we were dating. Another one came to my apartment and stole pretty much everything I owned while I was away, while we were dating. All of my exes were really attractive, but only one was really well hung while we were dating. That was a suicide. You gotta laugh about it or you try, jeez. So anyway, yesterday was my birthday, and on this birthday, I decided to retire from my 9-to-5. I will never go back. As of today, this is my first day of retirement and doing comedy full-time only. So, a few weeks back, I left my notice, maybe a month or so back, I left my notice at my job. And I told them I was leaving because I wanted to devote all of my time to OnlyFans. And HR did not like that, I don't know why. So I said, no, you're confused, you don't understand. OnlyFans is not only about that, they do all kinds of stuff. So my OnlyFans is innocent. Everything I do is really innocent, although it doesn't sound that way. Like I'm an author, I have a children's book out, Pepe's Place, you can find it on Amazon. But I tried to do a children's book before that, and none of the schools would even look at it. It was a family-friendly book called Sitting on Uncle Michael's Lap. It was a pop-up, but nobody would even look at it, I don't know. But anyway, as I was saying, I'm very innocent, and everyone's been calling me a lucky bastard. I know I am, because I'm leaving work early, I'm young, to retire. So I agree I'm a lucky bastard, but I have worked for 20 years for the Department of Developmental Services, formerly the Department of Mental Retardation. I worked for them for 10 years, then took a break and came back. So 20 years total. And I decided I'm gonna leave on a good note. So yesterday, my last day of work, I had a shirt made, just for the occasion. And so I wore this to my last day of work, so that everyone knew that I'm a lucky bastard, but I'm a writer, so I know how to use an ellipse. I don't have to be offensive. And I am. I'm a lucky bastard. And I'm a slow learner. So this will be available on my merch line when I start my tour soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael Allen. And again, give yourselves a round of applause for coming out tonight.